Sally and Helen, it's great to be here. Early morning in North Berwick. Just had my second cup of coffee, but you're looking perky because this group, Parentspace, has really taken off in the last few months. Do you want to tell us where it came from and how it started?
Well, it seemed to grow out of a project called Growing Young. And that was, we were looking as a church to reach out to children, families, young people. And one of our ideas was that people with preschool children needed maybe a little bit more support and found that stage of their life quite difficult at times and possibly isolating. And we decided to set up a group that anybody in the community could come to with a creche and to have breakfast and to enjoy each other's company, and so as we could show them the love that the church has for parents.
Yeah, I think our impression when we had our initial discussions was that actually children in North Berwick are fairly well catered for. You know, there are lots of different groups, but there wasn't anything where the focus was the parents. So we wanted our group to be a place where the kids can have a lovely time, and they do. There seems to be a great sort of combination really of the people we have in the church who are willing and enjoy spending that time with the little ones, and the little ones just love getting that, you know, all the attention and the fun that they have in there. But for us, I guess it was really the focus. What's slightly different about our group is that the focus is on the parents, and we had this sense that, and I know myself, my kids are still young, and you know, it can be a really full-on time. And I guess we had this sense that people often ask, you know, how the kids are doing, and we wanted this to be a space where we ask the parents, how are you doing? You know, how are you finding this? We talked a lot as well. We were very conscious. This is an amazing community, and you know, we're very blessed in many ways. We did have a sense that there's perhaps a slight, shall we say, Instagram versus reality. We were very aware of the pressures of social media and modern parenting, and perhaps that sense people sometimes have that everything is just going fantastically for everybody else, and therefore you have to maintain that. And so again, we just really wanted to create a really safe space where people can just be really honest and really real about the fact we absolutely love our children to pieces, but some days it's really hard. And so that was, and yes, and I guess we felt that if people could come here, feel safe, feel loved, and feel supported, then they would experience God's love in some way.
And how did you get such a group going? I mean, there's two of you. You know, kind of, you need more than that probably to run a group like this.
Well, we did a presentation to the church. So one Sunday morning, Sally and I got up and explained the vision. And we were probably very shocked and surprised to find that quite a few people came up to volunteer after that.
Yeah.
And I think it struck a chord with many people who had had children themselves, possibly quite a long time in the past, but they still remembered that feeling of isolation, that feeling of possibly not even knowing how to do this, and just sometimes being on your own, maybe having had a busy career or a work life that they met lots of people, and then suddenly there they were alone with a baby, and it's tough. It's tough. Also, I think a lot of people have moved into North Berwick, so a lot of people maybe don't have their families around them, and that's tough if you don't have your mum or your auntie or somebody that's round the corner to help. So a lot of people resonated with our vision, and I think that made us feel, well, God must want us to go ahead with this, because we got this great team of volunteers who do different things. So we have somebody on the welcome desk because we feel welcome is really, really important. And we have a creche team who are fantastic with the kids. We have a breakfast team. So we toyed with the idea of having it a bit later because obviously, especially if you have a baby, it's hard getting out of the house. But also we realised there was mums with school-age children and preschoolers who drop their children off at 9:15 and then maybe want to come into the town anyway, but there's nothing open at 9 o'clock. So they can come anytime between 9 and 11.
Great.
So they can pop in, they can have a coffee, a croissant. The children can go to the creche. They can just have a bit of time for themselves in a way in our lovely parents' room. That's really spacious and comfy, and they can chat to other parents. And sometimes this is the only time that they feel in the week they can chat without interruptions, without a baby crying, a toddler wanting to go to the toilet, or all the wonderful things that happen when you're a parent, but you don't always be able to make that connection because you have your children with you, and it's quite hard to chat to other people and really get to know people. So we felt this is one way we could show our love, God's love, to the community.
Two of the big advantages people talked about are the ability to finish a sentence and the ability to drink a coffee while it is hot. And those are two things that don't come along easily. But when we were planning the groups, there's three of us in, if you like, the leadership team, myself, Helen and Liz, who's on the welcome desk just now. So we did, in fairness, we had a lot of meetings. There was quite a period of planning before we launched, and as part of that we also engaged with a ministry called MOPS, which is Mums of Preschoolers, which is an American-based ministry, and we really learned from them. We visited them and chatted to them. Ultimately we've decided to go for a slightly different model. In particular, we were keen that ours be parents, and we didn't want to exclude dads. In fairness, MOPS have a really clear statement and explanation as to why that's right for them, but we felt for us, so we looked at their model, we talked around it all, and then we've really just taken that and done what we feel is right for this community.
Great. And as the group's developed, has it gone in unexpected directions, or things have happened that you didn't see when you started, or even little things, kind of?
Yes, I think it probably has. I think there's a few things. One of the most challenging aspects of it, I guess, is not ever knowing how many people will come, because we've been really clear in saying we never want people to feel pressure, because we know what it's like as a parent to have another thing that you think, oh gosh, that's it, I need to get to that. So our position has always been, if this is something that will be supportive and good for you today, then come on that day. But I think I mentioned what we have had is we probably had close to 40 people who've come through the door. I think only a tiny fraction of them have a church connection. Mm-hmm. They're all pretty new to the church, so that's been amazing. But probably what I hadn't anticipated was the extent to which it would be every parent space is different. Different people arrive. Yeah. Sometimes we get lots of people, sometimes we don't get many people, and very often it's completely different people. So that's probably slightly different to we perhaps envisioned that we would have. You'd
have your regulars.
But the benefit we see in that then is the spread, is the number of people who've come through this building, and hopefully our hope is that at the very least they've come into the church, which they may not be familiar with, and they have had a positive experience, and they've felt welcome, and they've felt loved.
Lovely. And finally, what would you say to people who are hearing this and think, where would we start? If we would like to engage with parents and their children, in terms of your journey and just what you think's been important.
I think probably get your heads together. It all really started happening. I went round to your house. We both sat down with a notebook, and Neil, our minister, I think really kindly joined those dots, because he knew you'd been having thoughts like these, I'd been having thoughts like these. And so the first and most important big step, I think, was just us getting our heads together and really starting to brainstorm. And I should say, I think what we ended up with is probably quite different from what we discussed on that first day.
Absolutely.
Because as you go through it, you go, right, okay, actually that's not going to work, and we maybe have to do it this way. But it's taking that first step, I think, because it's amazing how God will... I definitely feel we've been on a journey, and God has absolutely taken us on this journey, and what it took for that, I guess, was for us to get together and also just pray together, and as much as we can, we try and really just give this to God, and there's a couple of things at the moment that have been presented to us by parents who are involved in the group where we're probably being pushed a little out of our comfort zone, but when we've prayed about it, we felt like this is the direction God's taking us. And it's something we do before we open the doors. Usually 5 minutes before we open the doors, we get together as a team and just pray.
We're going to do that. I'm taking your time. We're going to do that now. But Helen and Sally, thank you so much. It's wonderful to hear of you're serving this community with a group that people are finding really helpful, and also the stories of people sharing profoundly from what you've told me, and sharing their lives together with others, and thinking about God. So thank you so much for all that you're doing and for sharing with me this morning. Bless you.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.